Anyway,
God.
I'm going to drop a marker in here that just says cut this. Hey, let's start the episode.
Okay, where's my mic? Oh, well, dude, we going old school.
We're in this. We're doing an old fashioned. We're taking it back to the roots.
Oh man, like the Temptations when they only had like one mic, but they would like do their choreography and everything.
Yeah, that's the shit. That's when you know.
Shoo-be-doop.
This really has nothing to do with Dan versus D, but
wait, are we rolling?
Yeah, we've been rolling for 20 minutes, dude.
Is that gonna be like a running joke? Like, I don't know. Like every time I think we're not rolling, we are.
I find this cool though. In the early history of recording, when they first started recording bands in like the 40s and 50s, they just had one mic. So you literally just brought the band into the studio, and they would all stand around the mic, and they would just play the whole song start to finish. There was no overdubbing.
Well, they have like an omnidirectional like microphones then.
Yeah, or whatever that's called, where it captures the whole room. And so, like, if you're like the producer, instead of just pushing your finger on a fader to turn one instrument up, if you want the guitar player to be louder, you physically move his amp closer to the microphone.
That's actually really
and then retrack the song. So, if someone, not just if someone screws up, but if you record the whole song and then discover, oh man, I can't really hear the singer, you have to do it again.
Yeah. Hold on, let me check my spikes here. Let me check my tequila spikes.
It's been a while.
Yes, there we go. Got the spikes. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not going to be clapping too much. We're at a pretty good level, and I'm going to normalize it.
All right, so let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome back. We've been away for a little bit, but we never leave you hanging, so we're back once again, bring you another edition of the Dan vs. D Sports and Stuff podcast, DVD for short, aka DVD Player. I'm your player, D with 2 E's, and right beside me as always,
Dan with an A-N.
That's right, Dan can.
Good to see you guys.
Dan the man, he can.
As I like to think...
It sounds like a Dr. Zeus thing, like Dan the man can.
I like that, Dan the man can.
Dan the man can vegetables.
As I like to think and never say, but now apparently say, light on the sports, heavy on the in stuff.
So, we've been away for a little bit. Like, we've been away since, like, the playoffs. We've pretty much missed the whole playoffs except for the big game. And, we might have, like, another, like, football, we're going to have another, football league returning in 2020.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Markel Fultz's jump shot is screwed up. We're going to hit on that a little bit.
Again.
It's just still screwed up. It's just never been right.
And we will further give mental pats on the back of to Danny Ainge for making the trade.
Jason Tatum, man. So yeah, here we are, man. It's been a little bit. Glad to be back.
It's been a while.
We got a great show for you tonight. We are here in the DVD Dome. This is the other thing I was going to say very quickly is that we're in the same room again. It's been a little while.
We've been away from each other like the last couple of episodes, so we're going vintage DVD.
We're going old school. Old school.
We actually are going old school because we got like one mic. We're like Nas. All we need is one mic.
It's kind of funny because we've been doing the show temporally.
Temporally? Wait, is it hitting our listeners square in the temple?
Oh, snap. We don't have that many episodes. We've been doing the show for a good while now. I was looking today because, side note, I'm uploading these to YouTube. So I don't know why you would go there if you've already listened to the show, but, hi.
We'll have the link in the description.
We'll link in the description to the channel.
You got to give me the information for that so I can help manage that as well. So
yeah, totally. It's the same account, dude. So if you log into the Google account, go to YouTube.
I forgot the password. I'm a bad co-host.
I will share it with you off the air so that we do not invite literally every listener to hack our account.
Yo, that would be a great science experiment just to test and see how many people are actually listening.
We just discover that it's just like my dad goes in and puts like a fart on there or something. Man. I don't know.
Or we can have our PR person, my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's hyping us up on Facebook. I love
the official PR person of DVD.
Okay.
But anyway,
let's get this part started, shall we? So let's start with playoffs. Insert soundbite here. Playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? But yeah,
I'm just gonna turn him into a song.
NFL playoffs. So,
shake it. Shake it.
Absolutely.
Shake it.
Dude, you should. Yeah, you need to use that somewhere. I don't know where, but you gotta use that. That's like one of my proudest moments of my life. So we have our two combatants. We have Philadelphia and their fan base. I love the dog mask. Underdog.
I didn't understand why they were doing that at first, and it just looked weird.
So we go. So it's the evil empire known as the Patriots versus Rocky's own Philly.
I think a more interesting direction to take this segment. We're going to have lots and lots and lots of previews of Chris Long versus the Patriots offensive line and stuff like that.
LeGarrette Blount.
So rather than breaking down the football aspect of it, I kind of would like to tackle this idea of Patriots fatigue.
As a fan, let me ask you, is it becoming a little bit boring them making it to the Super Bowl almost every year? Every other year?
I struggle with this because they are so hated by other football fans that
They have the Death Star.
There's literally nothing I can say to other football fans without looking like an asshole. If I'm honest and I say, yeah, I'm not really sure that they're going to win this game, I look like I'm a defeatist Boston fan. If I'm yeah, I think they're going to win, I'm a Boston homer and everyone hates me.
Defense, they can get to the quarterback straight up. I mean, come on.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like there's the fraternity of all of the other NFL fans who can talk at the water cooler in the morning, and then the Patriots, you know what I mean? Because it's just what do you say at this point that doesn't make you look like a giant douche?
You'd be say if they won the Super Bowl.
Because you can't.
Told you so.
Yeah. You can't
even look their direction.
You can't ever get upset about bad things happening because we look really stupid. We both got really upset during the AFC Championship, and we look like spoiled children now because you know what I mean. We were just whining the whole time about the officiating and about Gronk getting injured and stuff, and they won.
Dude, our thumbs were flaming, just texting back and forth throughout the game. Me and Dan here.
You know what I mean? It's and I sort of just have to not pay attention to that stuff now because it's just I'm not going to not support my team, I feel like I do my fair share of acknowledging the fact that Brady is a Trump supporter and Belichick is a Trump supporter and all that horrible, gross shit that goes along with that. But
they just like him so he can help protect their money.
But it's sort of I don't know. I've been supporting my team my whole life. I don't think supporting the Patriots makes me a Trump supporter.
I damn sure ain't no.
I've given more money to the ACLU in the last year than I have to the New England Patriots.
I want to see if I want to see where this office goes, but I don't really have much to say about it right now.
Yeah. But anyway, we don't have to go there with it.
Well, I don't want to go there, but dude,
my point is that it's. I get it. I get why everyone's tired of seeing this over and over again.
I mean, if it was the Yankees doing it, doing this.
Oh yeah, no, it would piss me off.
Yeah,
no,
he's a Boston, like he's a Red Sox fan. He's like, yeah, it would.
What I was saying before we started rolling was that I feel exactly the same way about Alabama football that I feel that other people feel about the Patriots.
I was rooting for the backup quarterback. I'm guilty. I'm sorry. Like that's the only reason I was rooting for Alabama in the end, because like the backup quarterback was just throwing that ball pretty good.
I have this very dumb stereotype in my head of SEC fans as like these beer chugging, racist, pickup driving hicks from Alabama, which is a stupid stereotype that is not true. And I know that, but it's like, it's in my head a little bit, and they win every single year. They always get the best players. College football is a fundamentally unfair sport because the schools with the most money and resources always get the best players. And I just find it boring and exhausting and not fun to watch.
I mean, at least college basketball has like the NCAA tournament where there's a lot of variability and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the very least, Carolina doesn't win every year. At the very least, yeah, the best teams have to prove it by literally playing the little guys. You gotta win 6 in a row.
But anyway, so I understand. I do. But it's also sort of like, you know...
You ain't gonna just abandon your team.
I'm also still going to watch it and enjoy it and be entertained. But I guess in answer to your question, I find it a lot harder now because they've won so many championships.
And including the greatest one ever last year.
I find it a lot harder now to get really, really emotionally invested the way I did when I was younger. But I also think that's just a function of getting older. Yeah, and having a little bit more perspective on life. And it's like
eating cake, man. Like you eat your favorite piece of cake, it's your favorite piece of cake ever, right? Your favorite flavor. You eat that cake, cool. Then you have another slice. It's good, really good. Eat it again. It's like you still like the flavor, but it's like it's not as special. Like the more times you have it, the less special it is. Yeah. Like it's never gonna be as special as the first one when they beat the Rams. And that was personally like gonna be like my most special, because that was like the most important Super Bowl I ever shared with my dad, because it was my Patriots going against his St. Louis Rams. A father and son Super Bowl. So that can't be topped. But last year's came very close. But the only thing the only thing that was missing was like my dad.
Yeah.
But
dude, very quickly, do you want to try to do some sort of like record while we watch the game kind of situation? I don't know what your plans are for watching the game.
I'm thinking about and this is the thing, like I'm actually planning on going to like my mother's house this year, because to me, I'm feeling something is calling me home, because I'm getting like this weird disturbance. Like, what was that? That weird, I'm sensing a disturbance in the force. Yeah, I'm getting that disturbance in the force, because like I feel like this might be the last. I'm feeling like hopefully it's not, but I'm feeling like this might be our last appearance for a little bit. I don't know. I'm getting that surreal feeling. I can't explain it. I can't explain. I just feel like this might be like that last one, because if I take it for granted, like, oh, we'll be there next year. Next, you know what? Like, what if I can't share like a Super Bowl with my family again, like of my team actually being in it? So I got that surreal feeling right now. And speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We can kind of get into the
I will
future of the
Skype
Patriots
you
later.
I will Skype you.
Yeah, I just think it would be fun to like maybe you just like cut some stuff of us reacting to stuff happening in the game, and then we could just like edit it afterwards and have like clips in our next episode or something.
I'm gonna have Casey in charge of that.
Because think about it this way, especially if they lose, and admittedly it will be really sad, because we'll both be, we're both going to get really, no matter what we say now, we're both going to get real emotionally invested into it, because we always do. But it would also prove maybe to some of our listeners that we're
legit.
We're You know what I mean? That we're not just putting our best foot forward. We're willing to maybe be a little vulnerable with our audience.
I mean, yeah, and plus, like, I mean, we've been through like anguish with our team and stuff. I mean, like we've moved on from 18-1, still became stronger than ever fans.
Yeah.
Now you are more about like you've seen Star Wars. Unfortunately, I haven't, and then like people who are like nerdy for that type of stuff will probably have like flaming pitchforks like aimed at my head right now. But I will get to watching those movies. I swear. But like, tell me the deal about the Death Star and like was that like, and how does that relate with the Patriots? Like, is that like a weapon or something, a Death Star, and like they're gonna fire it to like Philly or something if they end up winning?
I see
I
Death Star.
Urinating Tree was talking about he was like, will fire the Death Star to Philly or something, or Philly's fans would just be obnoxious so it'll win.
When I see a lot. I see that used as a metaphor in sports a lot. In the plot of Star Wars, the Death Star is a super weapon. The Empire essentially used all of its resources to build almost like an artificial moon with a giant laser in it.
Oh, that's what that dip was. Okay.
So
that was a laser?
Yeah. So that it can destroy an entire planet. So literally, essentially...
We're going to destroy the entire planet of Philadelphia?
When you think about it, you know, that movie was written during like the Cold War, so it was very much the idea of essentially... to keep other people in line, the idea of we're basically going to threaten you with complete annihilation. Everyone on your planet is dead. And it's the ultimate weapon of like enforcing fear and terror. But you know, it's also like the idea of having all of your resources into this super thing that's impossible to destroy. And so I see it a lot referred to the Warriors as a Death Star.
They're definitely the Death Star.
Because they just have...
Have you seen them play basketball?
They just have all of the talent, and at any point in time, they can just come online and just absolutely demolish anybody.
Let me tell you, like, going on that, I digress a little bit, but I just like playing, like, NBA 2K18 or any of the two, like, the previous couple of NBA 2Ks.
Is it just easy modo if you play the Warriors?
Because, like, my little nephew loves, taking turns between picking the Warriors or the Cavaliers. And I have to find a way to, like, beat him with all that talent. Like, KD, he can hit threes, but he can also drive to the lane and dunk on anybody.
Play the Rockets,
terrible.
dude.
Like, I played with the Spurs, and I crushed them.
Yeah,
one of my go-to teams, believe it or not, when he plays when he has the Warriors or Cavaliers, if he's like talking that trash to me, like he'll like beat me, right? And then he thinks he's like the best player ever because he used the Warriors or somebody. It's like, yeah, I'm the best. You're trash, man. You're trash. And then I'll pick someone like one of my go-to teams is the 76ers, and I'll get Ben Simmons on him.
It's like
Ben Simmons and Joe Embiid.
Well, isn't that kind of like the owner of the Warriors acting like he's hot shit because he came up with the innovative strategy of acquiring really good players that don't cost much?
He kind of got lucky.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like acting... There's just this macho dude thing with like executives where it's not enough to be successful, you have to also be smarter than everyone else.
Or be right. Like Sam Hinkie is like, yeah, if it weren't for the process, we wouldn't have Joe Embiid. Well, you missed on like most everybody else.
He missed on like every other fucking pick and trading his picks away for more picks because it was a scam, and we all know it was a goddamn scam. Fuck Sam Hinkie.
Hashtag trust the process.
I seriously, dude.
And hashtag great prophet Sam Hinkie.
Every single episode I post, I hashtag it the process.
Even in the Boston Bro Out.
Yep.
He wasn't even in that episode.
Doesn't matter. Every episode gets hashtag.
But yeah,
the process.
so do you think like your pick? Like, because I'm pretty certain we won't have another episode till like after the Super Bowl. So I'm going with the Patriots, but nail biter, like by 3. Just like the last time they played Philly. So Patriots by 3.
I honestly believe, because I've seen this a few places of analysts saying that they actually feel like the Super Bowl is a really bad matchup for the Patriots because of the
defense,
the Eagles. Game. The Eagles defensive line is like 7 deep of just pass rushers they can rotate in and do all that kind of giant stuff.
And wide receivers.
They're, in a lot of ways, better and deeper than the Jaguars, and their offense is built to do what the Jaguars did successfully.
Go deep.
Well, you know, the like bubble screens and spreads and stuff like that. Patriots defense is not.
And they actually have a proven talent at quarterback.
Yeah, and who the hell knows what Fultz is at this point? Could he turn back into Fultz? Who knows? But I don't know, man. It's sort of like
the Giants.
So many times the Patriots have pulled this off, essentially completely defying and utterly destroying all logic. And so it's I think that's the real Patriots fatigue, is that it's becoming impossible to evaluate them rationally.
Dude. I mean, how are you going to evaluate them rationally when you have like a Darth hoodie on the sideline?
Because like they should not have won last year. They should not have beaten the Seahawks.
They should not have been in their 10th Super Bowl right now.
They really, you can argue, if you look at all the Super Bowls that they've played, the Rams was a really weird ass game. And I rewatched that recently, by the way, on YouTube, and it was a weirder game than I remembered. There was no offense from New England in that game, and so much offense from the Rams.
Didn't Ricky Prohl tie the game up?
He did. He did in both games. He did with the Panthers, too.
Ricky Prohl.
The Panthers game was a weird one where they just barely squeaked by. If you look at all 5 Super Bowls they've played, the most convincing win, arguably, was the one against the Eagles.
Even then, we only won by 3.
Yeah, but they were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, and they kind of had a pretty.
I gotta say though, the ballsy performance goes to Terrell Owens, man. Did he break his leg and he came back just in time for the Super Bowl and had over 100 yards receiving?
He had metal pins in his foot in that game.
Oof.
But my point being is that so many times this team has been in that situation where it's just there is no reason to think that they will win this game. There's no reason to think they're going to convert this play. And they just seem to always do it. And I just, how many more times does this have to happen where we're just I don't, and I think it's a type of skill that defies projections, or at least defies the kind of projection systems that we typically use.
Heart, man. Heart.
Well, it's not just that. It's the situational aspect where the Patriots, and this was a thing, I guess, pioneered by Belichick, but lots of other teams do this now, but it seems like none of them quite do this better than New England, which is they somehow just have practiced every conceivable situation that might happen. I don't know how they find the time to do this or what, but it's every bizarre situation we're going to have to convert 2-point conversions to win this game. They just already have the plays. They practice the plays. Oh, we've been practicing those all year. They just know.
I mean, they've been those plays.
We're going to have to get an interception at the goal line.
They've had those certain plays for at least a decade. The direct snap. Been doing it with Kevin Falk and did it with James White.
Yeah, we need a 3rd and 18 to our 4th receiver to get back into this game.
Hey, Amendo's not a 4th receiver.
No, I know, but he's not now. But if everybody was healthy, he would.
Dude, Danny Playoff, man.
But
Danny Playoff.
It's just all of this is to say that I take New England.
What's your score? I'm going to
go. So the last time they played the Eagles,
I'm going 24-21.
I was going to pick 24-21 too because that was the score of the last game, which last time I picked correctly. Before the game, I said it was going to be 24-21, and it was.
I'm going to go higher then, 27-24.
But I think I agree. I think it's going to be a field goal. It's just going to be. But we're not. I'm going to say this: we're not going to get to that score in the way that we think. It's not. So it's either going to be.
What, are we going to have 5 safeties or something?
No. More like it's going to look for a while like one team is going to win. and some stuff is going to happen. Some weird stuff is going to happen that kind of shifts momentum. Maybe the Patriots go up big early on in that game. Maybe McDaniels has the first couple of drives scripted out and they score and they go up like 21-0. And then, it's like a big comeback by the Eagles. But it's going to be like Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is not going to happen the way you think.
Hey.
That's my prediction.
And is Gronk going to play?
I think he plays.
He plays.
He may not practice, but I think he'll play.
I think he'll play. Okay.
And maybe he'll even... Well, they don't let you play if you haven't passed protocol, but maybe if he's not quite up to speed, they'll maybe just use him as a decoy for a lot of the game, and then have just a couple plays to run to him at the goal line or something.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my thought. I'll say this. If I was going to pick percentages, it would be 60-40. I would not be at all surprised if the Eagles win this game because...
I wouldn't be surprised either.
You do not make the Super Bowl if you're a bad team. Period. Don't. And so much of what that team has done all year is really special, and I think everyone immediately wrote them off when Wentz got hurt, but they've proved that they deserve to be here and proved that they know what they're doing. And Peterson has had his critics too, their coach, and he has shown that he has really turned that team around and that it's a close-knit bunch of guys who really care about each other, and all of that matters ultimately.
And I wouldn't be too... I'll be disappointed because, hey, it's my team, my favorite team losing, but I wouldn't be too disappointed because, this team will have their first Super Bowl win. Eagles will have their first ever Super Bowl win.
I was going to bring this up. Why are there... Because I've seen a lot of things where people are saying this is like a matchup of the two most hated fan bases or whatever, and I get why people hate Patriots.
I guess the arrogance of the Patriots and their fan base, and then the obnoxiousness of Philly. I guess because keep in mind, man.
Why do people hate Philly fans though?
Here's the thing. Just picture this in your mind. Close your eyes for a sec. It's I think what was it, 1960s or something like that. Yeah, it was 60s because they
Santa Claus.
They threw snowballs at Santa. You don't need nothing else.
No, but
they booed him and they pelted him with snowballs because they were mad at their team for winning when they wanted them to tank so they could get O.J. Simpson. And they
hilarious.
And they took out their anger on Santa Claus.
But hold on. I'd never heard that part that they wanted O.J. Simpson.
They did. That was around that time when they wanted O.J.
But hold on. Rewind for a second. That happened 40, 50 years ago.
Don't matter. You can't boo and belt Santa with snowballs.
No.
That's the ultimate sin, man, for Christmas.
Let's take a step back and let's evaluate this rationally.
But Santa!
If you're going to make the argument that is representative of the whole fan base, if that's the argument, then what percentage, Okay, let's look this up.
Oh,
let's
boy.
Look this up.
What you got cooking, man? What you got cooking?
Hold on. When did Eagles fans throw snowballs at Santa?
Oh, God.
I just literally typed that into Google.
Why did they...
It was a cold winter day in 1968. That's all I needed to know. Okay, so if that was 1968, a person born the year after that is in their 40s now. Mm-hmm. So... the vast majority of Eagles fans were not alive during that era. I think that's fair to say.
Unless you have but I think you also underestimate elder Eagles fans too.
Well, fair, but my point is that a very large number of Eagles fans were not alive during that era. So how can you say that that's a reflection of them?
It's not a reflection of them, but you know what the Eagles fans are capable of.
Fair, but I don't know.
Or you could just look at the riots from last week when they won against the Vikings.
The Crisco on the fucking polls or whatever that was great.
And then the guy looking looking so disturbed. He was looking. That was gotta be the most disturbing image I ever saw. The guy being handcuffed. Was he shirtless?
Oh, when they were fighting at the tailgate.
And it was and his nose was busted, he was bleeding and stuff, and he just had that menacing grin, I was my gosh.
Faces of PCP.
Oh, I don't know if it was that, but I just think it's just
it was something.
Just pure excitement of Eagles winning. They do have their own theme
adrenaline
song.
could do that, but that's a facial expression
I do like their theme
I
song.
associate with drugs.
I do like their theme song. Go fly, eagles, fly. Like all of them singing in unison. You know that they've been craving for like a big win like that and for a Super Bowl. I would love for them to do it, but I just don't want them to win it, and then they'll just never, ever, 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 ever shut up about it.
Well, it's like I just don't. I don't know. I think maybe I'm more sympathetic because they haven't won anything, and I remember the story of like the Dick Vermeil team, and he ended up retiring after they lost the Super Bowl before he came back in the 90s.
And then he came back and run one with the Rams.
But I guess I
would like for them to get their ring, but like just the fans, I just wonder how they're gonna. They probably won't know how to act, but
just tear the damn city down.
Dude,
it's like Red Sox fans don't do that.
Dude, they like cars on fire.
Like
too,
cars on fire and shit. Like, come on. Or Canadian hockey fans,
Oh man.
But I just okay.
Like
other most hated fan bases would be like Cowboys fans.
Oh gosh.
Because like they're still thumping their chests about stuff that happened in 1993. No one cares anymore.
Pittsburgh, like most of their Super Bowls came during the Steel Curtain era.
Yeah, but at least that's a franchise with a lot of historical success that you can look back to, and even with the Cowboys, you can say, okay, this team has won a lot of championships over the years, and they've been, even if Jerry Jones is bad at running a football team because he's a shit.
Who's the bigger of that, like him or like the two guys that moved their respectable franchises to to LA, like what was that Kroenke and Spanos.
Dean Spanos.
Yo, your name tree always says F you Spanos. Because didn't San Diego fans did a petition to keep them, and then he just behind their backs
he just ignored it.
That's terrible.
Yep. He doesn't give a shit.
It sounds like a.
He does not give a fuck shit.
It sounds like an HBO drama. No, it's like. Yo, that's actually, I think, almost exactly how it played out on Ballers. It's like, yeah, keep Oakland keep the Raiders in Oakland. No, we're just gonna move them to Vegas anyway.
But I don't know. I have a hard time really hating fan bases whose teams haven't won anything, because I think every fan base has an obnoxiousness factor that ratchets up when they win.
Oh god.
Yankees fans are never not going to be obnoxious because their team has just won so much, and it's also like.
What about Chicago Bulls?
I get annoyed by fans who celebrate things that happened before they were born. I don't thump my chest about Game 6 of the 1975 World Series, man. I wasn't alive for it. I don't thump my chest about Ted Williams.
I thump my chest oh yeah, how about that snowplow game?
Yeah, it's also it works in reverse, right? We don't really have a right to be upset about the 85 Super Bowl because we weren't alive for it. That's not really our generational moment. I can joke about Bill Buckner because I didn't live through it.
I can't joke about that because his dad put me on blast when I just mentioned the name.
He was like, "No, we don't talk about that here."
He could have denied me pizza rolls for that.
Oh God, no! You gotta have those pizza rolls, man.
Dude, we need to go take a field trip to so we can pick up those pizza rolls like that. Oh man,
Lego my Tortinos. Okay,
so you want to talk about that process again?
What the happened to Markelle Fultz's jump shot?
Injuries is one hell of a drug, I guess.
Because I'm thinking about what happened to John Lester in MLB, where he just can't throw to first base. He just can't do it.
Well, he can't throw to first base?
Nope.
Yeah.
He just, for whatever reason, can't do it. He'll practice it 1,000,000 times.
Can't do it.
And then in front of a crowd, can't do it.
Can't do it.
And it's just weird. It's the yips. basically. It's a very weird mental, psychological thing that happens where your brain interferes and short circuits your muscle memory, basically. And you see that with Fultz, where he's thinking about...
He jumps, like when he started, but then it's like when he goes up, he kind of hitches. He kind of has like a hitch with like his shooting arm, and he looks like he just kind of pushes the ball instead of arcing it.
And what it looks like to me is that it's sort of like he's clearly thinking about every jump shot as he takes it. Don't screw it up. And
then it just goes like really bad.
And
that's in practice. It's like,
you watch guys in like an NBA game, even players who aren't very good. They're clearly playing instinctively. They're not really thinking about what they're doing while they're doing it.
Think of Sean Marion, man. He had an ugly shot, but it still went in because he was Sean Marion.
And, when you see guys when you see guys in interviews and the interviewer is always like, what just happened there? Take us through what was going through your mind. And the guy's always just like, oh, I don't know. I just put a good swing on it. You know what I mean? It's like, because they don't know what happened.
Sling it, kid.
They practiced it. They practiced it a million freaking times and just let instinct take over when they were playing.
I don't know, man. Maybe they should play for overtime. Just sling it, kid.
But yeah, the other aspect of this is I don't know if I've ever seen a number one pick almost immediately look like, oh God, is
Anthony Bennett? Hello.
Who?
Anthony Bennett, who I just deem as like a scapegoat number one pick that the Cavaliers made like a year before like LeBron signed back, rejoined them in that summer.
Oh, okay. I think that was kind of in the period of time where I was not following the NBA as closely.
Somebody was like, I forgot who it was, but the dude was like, what? Like one of the analysts was like, what? Like when they made that pick, because it was just so off the wall.
Weird.
Yeah.
But
he's out of the league, I think.
Greg Oden, maybe.
He was just derailed by injury.
He was just hurt a lot.
And he just could never get on the court.
He was not great when he played, but we really won't ever know what he could have turned into.
Well, we know what KD turned out to be.
And, but I'm trying to think of other, Jamarcus Russell, maybe.
Oh.
But and again, it's still really, really early in the game with Fultz, and we don't know what's going to happen. He could still figure it out. This is only this is only 6 months after he was drafted. But
didn't hold on, didn't Carolina draft Chris Weinke number one?
I don't think it was number one because wasn't there number 2 overall pick for Julius Peppers?
I don't know when he was drafted.
I think they drafted. Hold on. Because remember, they did not have the number... They went 1-15, but they did not have the number 1 pick that year because that was the year the Texans came into existence.
Oh.
I thought Weinke was a 2nd or 3rd round pick that year. Julius Peppers, number 2. Bryant McKinney. Oh, man. Quentin Jammer. Roy Williams, the strong safety.
Jeremy Shockey. Dante Stallworth.
Oh, man. Albert Hainsworth. TJ Duckett.
Ashley
Lalee.
I love that name.
Javon Walker.
Ashley Lalee. That's
Daniel Graham.
That's
to the Patriots.
Dude, that's one of my favorite names of all time. Ashley Lalee. I just love him in the commentary announcer.
Philip Buchanan.
William
Green.
Reed. Lito Shepard.
I remember Lito Shepard. He was pretty good.
Mike Rumpf. Jeremy Stevens.
Patrick Ramsey.
Oh, Josh.
I remember Patrick Ramsey, man.
Josh.
He was not good. Jabbar Gaffney, there he is.
Tank Williams.
I didn't even remember that name. Rashay Caldwell.
Clinton Portis.
Oh, yeah, I remember he was a 2nd rounder. I still haven't found... I remember Michael Lewis. Sheldon Brown.
Antoine Randall
Literally, that was the year the Eagles just drafted an entire new secondary.
Antoine Randall L.
I remember Antoine Randall L. Antonio Bryant.
Wait, dude, Deion Branch from Louisville? Wow. Dude, I love how like we were talking about basketball and we just go back to like talking about like Josh McCown and we're just talking about like football again.
Aiken Adele, I remember Aiken Adele. Anyway, Fultz is a f***ed up jump shot. End of topic.
And Danny Ainge was...
And Jason Tatum is amazing.
Yeah, Danny Ainge is looking much better about that trade.
But like, here's what I
he's drafted in like...
Fourth
round, pick 106. Yeah. Okay.
But, okay, so I think the other interesting aspect of this is, given how great of a start Tatum is off to, and that Tatum has kind of hit the ceiling of what his projection was, potentially, and could even get better going forward, and how Fultz, how Fultz is
that Freudian slip there?
Not even playing. What would have to happen for like 5 years from now for that trade to be considered good for the 76ers? Like, he would have to come back and be like one of the best players in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Fultz would have to be.
It's such a bad start right now.
Which he could, and I think it's still not out of the realm.
Do you think he can do it?
I think he can. I mean, there's
I don't see it. Like, based off track records of like especially with bad starts to like number one overall picks, I feel this is the danger zone right now. And
it's
unless Fultz fixes it real quick, I right now I see him as a bust right now. Even though he hasn't played, because the track record with number one overall picks aren't great.
The biggest thing is that he needs to... I think a big thing that happens to guys is early on, if you lose confidence early on, that can be really, really hard to recover from. And you see that a lot with like young quarterbacks where you get tossed in, and if you're not immediately successful, it's really hard to kind of recover from that.
Yeah, look what happened to David Carr.
Yeah, you just get sacked so much, or you just throw so many picks, and then, Yeah.
And
I just don't, there's always this thing that happens where the coach gets pressured to put the young guy in. Young guy plays badly. Coach yanks young guy in the middle of a game for no reason. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that always happens, and it's like, that's how you destroy somebody's... Or like what happened to Vince Young, where...
Jeff Fisher is what happened to...
Jeff fucking Fisher was constantly
how many
kind
careers?
of dangling the hook. I might pull you.
How many careers has Jeff Fisher destroyed?
I'm gonna, at some point, maybe we'll just do an entire episode on how terrible Jeff Fisher is.
Fisher? Like, instead of Def Leppard, Def Fisher?
Def Jam Records.
You jammed them all right.
I'll do a massive amount of research and just research all of the players that ever played for Jeff Fisher.
He was deaf to like the criticism and to the people trying to steer him the right path, and he jammed all the players involved. Def Jam.
I don't really know where I'm going to go with this, but I just wanted to bring it up because it is a sports story. The Larry Nassar thing. Just because I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring it up. I know it's not fun or easy to talk about, but what his victims did and the bravery that they showed coming forward, I think, is... Our society needs more of that, but it also needs us to listen.
Yeah.
And I want to, like, specifically us as men.
Yeah. We
need to listen. And
the thing about it is, like, my girlfriend, like talks about this, like, and she really is passionate about this. It's like, as a woman, she doesn't feel safe. Like, ever. Because it's every day there's, like, men, like, they're objectifying her, like, physically, mentally, emotionally, or something like that. Like, she has, like, them worried about them, like, looking at her or just seeing her as, like, a sex object. Instead of just, like, a human being with thoughts and feelings, just like just like every person, like every other person in this world. And also fearing like, hey, if I am not nice to this person, if instead I reject this person, or hey, if I turn them down on she ain't gotta worry about that with me, of course, because we're dating. But say if she was single, or other women, like women who are single, like they fear about turning a guy down because they literally fear their lives because like the possibility of them actually being killed.
Yeah, you just
as she was telling me, like number statistic is like the number one killer of women is like men, and I was like,
nope.
That we need more like bravery stuff, like you were saying, but we need more like men just knowing when no is no. And knowing when to not be an idiot and to stop taking advantage of women. We need more of that. Just to stop the bullshit. Like, you gotta be respectful. You can't be like, don't be violent. Don't be like overly advancing and like trying to force yourself on somebody or just treating them as if like they're a second class citizen, because that's not right. And then taking advantage of people, like that's just like And men got to stand up and be responsible.
It's sad in a sense, I guess, that it takes the bravery of victims to speak out.
But it shouldn't be victims in the first place, and that's the messed up part about it.
There is no way this dude couldn't have been doing this for many, many, many years. Just like at Penn State with the Joe Paterno thing, there's no way it could have happened for so long
and then someone didn't see nothing
without a lot of people knowing about it and choosing to do nothing. And that is so much more prevalent than you think it is.
Because of like politics and like power.
Well, also just like the fear of being associated with it, I think. It's so much easier to pretend that the world is a lot more normal than it is. It's much easier to pretend I didn't just see that, I didn't just hear that. I'm going to go home to my family now. You know, and I don't really have a point with this.
I see your point. It's like there needs to be more like, hey, if there's some bullshit, you need to stop it in its tracks then and there. While mine is like, we need to like make sure there's no bullshit to begin with.
It needs to come from men.
Like having the awareness and then striving to be better than what the world is.
You've got to be it. But you also have to say it, and I think a lot of us struggle with the saying it part. And I know that can't just be me, because it's not like there's bad guys hiding behind every bush. Like it's people that you and I know, that we are even friends with, that we are. And I'm not saying this in like an accusatory witch hunt kind of sense, but what I mean is that we all, and you and me included in some ways, contribute to and create this culture and have a responsibility to change it. And it's not like, oh man, look at how woke I am. It's like, this is pretty much like just the baseline level of being like a decent human being. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just rambling now because I was just thinking about it. And I didn't want to do a whole happy-go-lucky episode where we don't acknowledge this story, at least.
Yeah, and my big responsibility is like teaching the people that's coming after me, like my little nephew, my little cousin. Like, hey, like they're teenage boys right now, so I feel like a responsibility. I kind of gotta get them ready.
Yeah,
like, hey, this the world is. Like, please don't be this guy. Like, try like. I feel like I need to plant the seeds. I'm like, try working on the solution opposite of what's going on right now.
And they're not dumb. They see what's in the news. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, they're probably asking
at the age group where they might be confused. Oh, hey, why is this happening?
Yeah, they're probably asking themselves, why the hell did this happen? How is this guy allowed to do this for so many? I mean, like, we all are, really, but like,
this world is just it has its challenges, and there's beautiful sides of the world, and there's an ugly side to it. But trying to put in as much good as you can, as like to try to help this world grow instead of like having this world like rot and fall.
And the other thing I would say, just to very briefly wrap up, is You know what? I think the other part of this is that people like us are sometimes, in a well-meaning way, afraid to have these conversations because we're afraid of saying something wrong. You know, my point being is that that's, you know, if someone calls us out for something that we didn't mention or something that we were insensitive about or something that we just didn't understand, I would rather react like, hey, what was it? What about it? You know, help us do better.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm inviting listeners to reach out to us and talk to us about this if you would like.
We welcome your words. Because that's how we grow. Because we're all not one person's not going to have the same thoughts as another.
Yeah, these conversations need to happen, and it's very easy to kind of not see the connection between the way you interact with other people and these horrifying ways in which society fails other people. And I think it's just important for us all to kind of acknowledge the shared responsibility that we have for these things.
Sometimes you gotta be real and you gotta acknowledge what's out here. So, and I mean,
I think that goes into the therapeutic nature of this show, because I haven't really had a chance to talk to anyone about this, so I appreciate it.
Same here. Like, we as a group on this podcast, and just as a group of this world here, we gotta learn to heal. Like, we just gotta be able to learn to heal as individuals and as a unit. So because like if you're hurt all the time, like, how can you progress if you don't heal?
Exactly. And this show is very, very bro-y, sausage festy sometimes, and very happy-go-lucky. And I don't want to just hide behind privilege and just completely push past this issue as though it never happened. I want to try. I really want to try to go somewhere productive with it.
You say privilege?
Yeah.
Like white privilege?
Male privilege.
Oh, male privilege.
You
have white male privilege.
Absolutely.
I have black male privilege, so that's like, that has its own challenges.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about race on this show a few times, and it's a similar thing where it's like the conversation needs to happen, and you and I are at least comfortable enough with each other that we can talk openly about it, and it's something that I value.
Have to.
All right, so we have to talk about fucking Vince McMahon.
Okay, can I do it? This is the XFL.
So I did read the article, but is he actually gonna still call it the XFL?
As far as I know, yeah.
Which I just find hilarious because
I don't know, but like anything can happen. But
so the broad strokes of it is that Vince McMahon is reviving the failed 2001 competitor to the NFL, the XFL.
Were they really a competitor though?
It was an attempted competitor. The USFL arguably did a much better job of doing this before Donald Trump ruined it.
They still have like those $3 checks they haven't picked up yet.
I love. That's one of my favorite. I always say this. This is my favorite piece of trivia. I really enjoy this story. Not enjoy. That's the wrong word. I don't know. I'm horrified and disgusted by this story that like we could have had a decent competitor to the NFL if it wasn't for Trump ruining it. And literally the jury didn't award them. They won the case, and the jury didn't award them any money because they hated Trump so much. And he was such an asshole that they didn't want to give him a real victory.
Because some things never change.
And so, but it's funny how these things always tend to come full circle that, like,
Full circle.
For some reason, the president of the fucking United States felt the need to, like, attack the NFL for some reason.
That sounds like a coinky, like a not so much of a coinky dink, is it?
Or when his administration was trying to get Jamel Hill fired, as though that has anything to do with what the president's job is. But anyway, point being, Vince McMahon is bringing back the XFL, and
I'm kind of excited because I'm excited because I want to see where it goes, where he actually puts in time and work and effort into it. Like, because remember when they announced it, they put the football product in the following year after his announcement.
Yeah.
That means people were rushed in and had to do training camp for 3 weeks, and the product suffered because it was really, really bad football because the teams didn't have enough time to prepare and plus they didn't know what the heck they were doing because it seemed like they were just kind of making it up as they were going along. What if Colin Kaepernick played for the XFL?
That's not going to happen. There's a 0% chance that would happen. Although he was asked directly about whether Colin Kaepernick would be available to play in the league because Kaepernick has never, because what he said 2 things. He said that they would not allow people to kneel during the anthem and that they would not allow any criminals. Kaepernick,
he said he said he would stand for the anthem if it meant playing football again. He would.
Kaepernick has never is not a criminal. He's never been convicted of anything.
But there was that dicey thing with the whole sexual case.
Yeah. So that's another thing to kind of lay out there.
But in that he's squeaky clean. So,
but the point is, it's a very different, weird brand than, because the original XFL was violence and boobs. That was the selling point.
And WWE, because it had WWE, and I think he's trying to distance himself so far that he distanced himself so far from WWE that he's going so far right. And I don't understand. Because you're going away from your MO.
If you're going to start a football league that's meant to be essential, what is the sell here? It's a wholesome alternative to the NFL? Is it a safer alternative to the NFL?
Is it a Christian version of NFL?
Are players going to be required to sign statements of faith before they take the field or something? I don't understand what the sell is.
Hey, Tim Tebow confirmed for 2020 then.
Seriously though, why?
Yo, they're creating a league so Tim Tebow can win a Super Bowl.
Dude, if I were Vince McMahon, I would go and offer Tim Tebow $100 million to play in the XFL. I would.
You ain't gonna have enough money for that. It ain't gonna
do whatever you have to do to get the money because. Dude,
just pay him a Jay Cutler deal. That's all you need to do.
Because offer him $30 million to play 1 year.
No, $10 million. I'm giving $10 million.
Because you gotta go more than that.
Because the league ain't gonna have that type of money to offer, man. It might just take just $100 million just to keep it that'd be the whole league.
Well, he's funding all of this by selling a bunch of his WWE stock, and it's entirely funded by him so far, as far as I understand.
What was the Anthem? What was it? Anthem Entertainment?
No, it's something else. But it's the point is. They brought in Tebow, man. They would print money because.
Oh my god!
Because essentially, I think his sell is, it's essentially he's wanting to provide a product to the people who stopped watching the NFL because of the national anthem protests, or maybe because of Ray Rice too. And maybe because of probably not because of CTE, because I'm sure he's going to want to make it more dangerous. But it's that.
He probably won't try to make it as dangerous. I think his focus is to make it a lot more polished than it was because hey, we're gonna have a few years to do this. So
the problem is, and where I think this is a major miscalculation, is that I don't think that is a very large number of people.
It's not.
NFL ratings, yes, have declined this year,
but they've been as football. They've been
going. They've been as high as ever during the playoffs, And
who knew, like, people love the playoffs? Who knew?
And
who knew?
The NFL's, I've said this a number of times, maybe not on this show, but the NFL's major problem is its on-field product is really bad, and has been for a while. And that's the problem. All of these other things are secondary to that problem.
What do you expect when they keep getting young guys out there to replace like veterans? Because
let me tell you, man, I know some people who
wait, you know the mafia?
At least claim no.
You know people?
No. I know some people who claimed that they stopped watching the NFL because of the anthem protests. They definitely were posting "Yay Eagles" last week, so they were watching. They came back. They came back for the playoffs because their team was in it. So
you never doubt the power of EAGLES.
Hey,
Eagle.
Hey D. You know what that's called? That's called hypocrisy
at its finest, man. Flying Eagles fly.
So what happened, bro? Malcolm Jenkins is on your team too.
The hypocrisy is flying high like them Eagles right now.
What happened? What happened to your strong moral conviction and love of America? What happened to that, dude?
Playoffs happened, dude. Playoffs, man.
Two things. I don't think people are going to care anymore by 2020, for one. And three, like I said, I just don't think that audience is that big. You know?
Am I like the small percentage that just wants to see what what Vince does? Because like I want to see what he does, but he has more time, and see how much he distances himself from like that WWE style, and then like see what the final product is going to be and what play. I'm actually interested in seeing what players we find fell by the wayside. I mean, think about it. Like he found like Tommy Maddox and Jose Cortez and let's not forget Rob He Hate Me Smart. Who played for the hometown Panthers, man. They were in the Super Bowl. Rod He Hate Me was in the Super Bowl, and the only travesty was that he could not have that on the back of his jersey. They were saying in the documentary. Remember, Vince was planning on making him their spokes, like making him their not spokesman, but like their what is that? Post like their the league's poster child.
The face.
Yeah.
The face. Yeah. What is your? Because you're a big wrestling fan, so you're very familiar with Vince's work.
I think I'm more casual these days, but yeah, I'm a fan of wrestling. Yeah.
But you're a fan, so you know what his kind of business MO is. What is your read on this? What's the sell here? What is he selling? Because he's clearly not selling WWE Part 2. He's selling something completely different from last time.
That I can't really say, because like this is foreign to me, because like now it's like going as far as ways it can from the WWE. So like I don't know how he operates outside of that type of realm. I don't think it's a good idea for him to go away from what made the original XFL great. Like, did it have its like bad stuff? Yeah, it had terrible football and had like tasteless jokes and stuff, and yeah, it was sexist as heck. But keep in mind, like the stuff they had, like they had the mics, like players mic'd up. NFL used that now. The Sky Cam, they use that now too. But like they were like rebels, like, hey, we're not trying like to be all like, upstanding like the NFL and like being super high quality and all that, like being like all this world mass appeal. We're gonna do what we want and how we want to do it. And I think he's going away from that business model right now, because it's like, well, we're going from like this rambunctious renegades, right, to going to like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this sweet product for all you guys who bleed patriotism all day, all night. Like I really think that, I hope they try to shift from that, and like also shift from like people who've been in trouble in the past. It's like you got to like at least like broaden out your talent pool. So I really feel like right now, like he's gonna like I feel like he's going to change his mind. And if he don't, I think he's going to be in trouble. Because him going far right compared to like what this 2000 the 2001 incarnation of that was, and not opening his league up to as many players as possible to possibly find someone that's good. It just probably had like bad luck or just couldn't or just made like a bad choice in the past. Like I feel like he's making a league that's kind of closing like a lot of opportunity out. And I don't want that. Like, I'm curious about the XFL because, I was a fan. I watched it because it was like, hey, WWE. And also, it was football. I like football.
I did not know that you actually watched it.
I watched some of it. I watched a couple. Yeah, I watched a couple. Like, that's what I knew about, like, Tommy Max and, like, Jose Cortez kicking barefooted.
So I remember hearing about that, but I never watched it.
I watched some. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it religiously, but I remember I tried to watch it because, like, it was football and it was WWE. Like, and I'm a young kid. I'm like, come on. Like, I was entertained by that. Like, but I think he's going, like, too far, like, away from what made the XFL great. And I just don't want that to bite him in the behind later. Because I want it to succeed. I would like, and I'm interested to see what would happen. But I just don't want it just, like, to crash and burn again.
Well, because think about it like this. The thing that I've always hated about the NFL's sort of...
And Vince McMahon is also sexist, and he's, like, greedy and all that stuff. So, he's... Oh, my gosh. So, he pretty much kind of shares probably similar qualities of, like, of Trump and all that stuff. But, whatever. But
I guess the thing that I've always hated about the NFL's sort of ethos is this idea of, like, moral enrichment from pro football as though, like, pro football is sleazy and violent, and it's a corrupt sport run by a bunch of morally bankrupt billionaires.
Blitz the League was like a more realistic interpretation.
I really don't need the NFL to I mean, I don't get moral enrichment from watching pro football.
Ballers.
I don't become a better person watching pro football.
Ballers.
It's a goddamn entertainment product. It's no different than like an action movie with a crap ton of CGI explosions and boobs. Like that's what it is.
Ballers was like, it's kind of like a more realistic interpretation of like I guess behind the scenes in football. Yeah. Like with Dwayne Johnson. And Playmakers. Remember Playmakers?
Yeah. Pretending it's anything else is just becoming harder and harder to believe.
And think about
it. And I don't mean to say that like, oh, all the players are bad or terrible people. It's not that. There are many great guys who play football who are nice people. That's not my argument. My argument is it's a business that operates like any other business. It is not some greater than life American social institution that is, this great paragon of our culture. That is a stupid argument, and it's always been a dumb argument.
Get on your feet for the Star Spangled Fire. I missed that song.
Yeah. Waiting all day for Sunday night. Why'd they gotta change that song, man?
Why did they? And plus, like, as you were saying, like, before we were rolling, like Vince McMahon, he operates in a business where not all the wrestlers are saints. I mean,
and that's completely sidestepping.
He has people that violate the wellness policy. Just recently, I saw like one of their tag team one half of the tag team champions on SmackDown had a DUI. Still has the championship and still has TV time and all of that. So explain that. So how can he still be on your team making you money, but you're saying someone who's had DUI, nope, sorry, you can't be here. Yeah. That's hypocritical. Yep. You got people that's had DUIs or made wrong choices all throughout your roster. But you're gonna go and say for this new reboot here, like back in the time where you wouldn't have mattered, you would have taken them anyway. Yeah. But here you're like, no, well, this time nope, we can't take them, and because this is gonna be an upscale football. Are you kidding me?
And it's like, okay, regardless of what Vince says.
And regardless of Vince, they're always going to think of him WWE guy first. Yeah. Same thing with Linda McMahon when she ran for like, what was it? Senate in Connecticut. always was attached to WWE.
Of course.
And I'm pretty sure that's what killed her campaign.
But, so, regardless of what Vince says, he's a businessman first. So what happens if the best player in his new league gets a DUI or is accused of domestic violence or sexual assault or something? What happens?
He's
like if it's like a Tim Tebow level star. I'm not saying Tim Tebow specifically, but if
my gosh, that would be Armageddon of the world.
If it's someone, no, what I mean is if it's someone who is basically single-handedly printing money for his league, is that person going to be kicked out of the league? I highly doubt it.
Nope, they're going to sweep it on the rug.
And, you know, that's the real test.
Or they get some attorneys to protect them. Who knows?
And the NFL has never been able to pass that test. If someone is talented enough, Jameis Winston, they play. And that's just period how it works. If someone is good enough, talented enough, it doesn't matter.
Ben Roethlisberger.
And, yeah. And you see it in other industries too. Like
Greg Hardy, and he still was able to get a job even after all that. Yep. And then he was just such an idiot to the point they had no choice but to kick him out of the league.
Yeah, he was a fucking idiot.
But now he's like beating people up in MMA.
But that's my point anyway. That if Vince is going to come along and say that his new league, his new company is going to be better than that, I don't believe it for a second. And
if he's trying to get the type of audience that he's trying to get, it's too much of a niche audience.
The funny thing is,
I just don't think it's sustainable.
What that's going to turn into PR wars, where it's going to be all about how to craft and mold the perception. And that is exactly what the NFL is. So what is he giving us that's any different from what we already have?
Man.
That said, there's no way that this will not create some entertainment because it's going to be just so weird and so off the wall. I'm probably going to watch it too.
It's not the fact that it won't be watched. It's just a matter of after week 1, will people still be watching? That's the key. That's what happened the first time. Week 1 of the first and only season of XFL. People watched. That was like their best ratings.
Yeah.
And then week 2 onwards, they just drop. Week, drop. So people flock to the new thing to see if it's going to fail or float.
Yep.
After that, once they got their general idea or got their opinion and made their minds up, you can't change after that. And then if the general consensus says, hey, this is terrible and we're not watching it, then the ratings are going to reflect that.
And something else that he said where he was talking about it was like corporate jargon, but he was talking about like multi-platform and connecting with fans in new and different ways. I do wonder if they might do something real crazy like stream only or some sort of subscription service,
or make he hate me as a head coach for a team.
Just
make it happen. That will print money right there. Just hate me to coach.
Just go in without cable, maybe. Who knows? I doubt that because
Netflix.
It would probably be like Twitter or Facebook Live, wouldn't you think? Or some other Amazon, some other platform like that.
Netflix might be. Netflix is desperate for sports. Imagine Netflix will throw if they'll throw like $13 million at a bomb of a comedy special of Amy Schumer, they will certainly throw money at a possible football alternative.
Netflix will throw money at anything, really.
Netflix. So my point exactly. Netflix. If you want like live football games or something like that, or streaming, like being able to watch football games, they can get their own rights to. Netflix could do it, man.
You could sneeze onto a blank sheet of paper near a Netflix executive, and they would go out and hire a famous actor and director to create it.
Then why ain't we doing that instead of this right now?
Yeah, wait a minute. What's going on here? Anyways. let's do our not weekly, I guess, our every episode Twitter check-in.
Oh no.
Because we have some Twitter followers.
I sent something to the wall.
We're being followed by Tipping Pitches at Tipping Pitches, which is a baseball podcast. I have not vetted any of this, so I really hope I'm not shouting out some like alt-right people or something. And then I'm being followed by Tyler James NBA, who is host of the new podcast Celtics and Chill.
Wow.
So, hey, and then everyone else that is following me is friends or family members. Including you. You're following the podcast right now.
Of course, did you get the message I sent to the podcast page of like that? Like that's how the first half ended. The ball just got stuck in the rim in the backboard. Oh, Duke. I hate you, Duke.
Hey, if you this is definitely in the spirit of this show, even if it's not in the subject matter. Mm-hmm. A fantastic follow on Twitter is at Hot Metal Takes. It is a Twitter account entirely dedicated to finding the worst opinions about heavy metal and retweeting them. Oh. So sort of like at Best Fans in Baseball, which is an account that collects all horrible things that Cardinals fans have said.
Oh, no.
It's in the same vein as that. It is a fantastic Twitter follow if you are at all into heavy music, because let's be honest, there aren't many groups of fan bases that are more at times toxic than football, but I would definitely put metal on the list. There are some fucked up people in the metal community. So, anyway.
Well, yeah, on that note, man, like, so overall, we're going to put this show on a close, and we're going to hit the road, but we're trying to bring you another episode sooner rather than later, probably be after the Super Bowl, so we can either arrogantly gloat about the Patriots winning, or we can cry in disappointment of us losing and bow down to the Eagles for their first championship.
Congratulations, Eagles fans.
Yeah, man, EAGLES Eagles, man. But on that note, this has been D with 2 E's.
Dan with an A-N.
Yep. Just thank you again for just listening. All 5. I'm gonna go like the over here and say our 5 listeners.
Bear in mind, we also have we're also uploading episodes to YouTube now. It's
previous episodes.
It is, I believe, just Dan versus D Sports and stuff on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So you can find us there and listen to literally this exact same episode again for some reason. I don't know why you do that, but it's there. So that does it. I hope you all have a wonderful week and really get to enjoy some really good, predictable Super Bowl action.
Yeah, and just wanted to say, enjoy life, be good to one another, and be true to yourself. And enjoy the world of sports and stuff around you.
And I'll simply say this. Listen. When other people talk to you and try to tell you things, listen. Don't shut them out. Don't pretend like you know everything. Listen and really listen.
And stand up for what's right.
And yes, we can all do better, and we all must.
Just keep getting better.
So, yeah.
Trust the progress.
That, if you don't know, that was the sound of me literally face palming. I literally smacked myself in the face
as
with
the
my
world
palm.
just progress, and we gotta trust our progression. So yeah.
That is very true. Sam Hinkie will lead us all.
The great prophet
will lead us all from the dark recesses of 2018. I don't know. Anyway, that's it.
That note. Hey, like say your line, dude. Like about hugs. You gotta do
right.
That,
I completely forgot about that.
I'm gonna let him forget that. That's my favorite part.
I wish I could just hug you all, but I'm not gonna.
But too late, I'm gonna hug you instead. I just hugged Dan.
I got a virtual. You all are witnesses to a hug. Anyway, bye.
Peace, guys. Pretty much, man.
And
same here. This guy got me eating tofu. I mean, I won't go out of my way to eat it, but if it's on the menu, I will eat it and I will enjoy it. So thanks.
Yeah.